Hey everyone, hope you're well. Hope you're having a good week. Hope you're enjoying lovely sunshine as I am this evening. It's been a bit on and off the last few days in terms of sunny and wet and everything, but hey, that's a Scottish summer for us, or Scottish spring. Let's hope it gets a bit nicer as we get into summer. So tonight I'm going to do some crafting. Now I had started to make the one of the projects in advance and I haven't finished. Um, but I am going to, so it's going to be a Wing It Wednesday basically. I have a plan in my head and I'm going to craft it and I'm going to make it together live. And if it goes right, we'll see it. And if it goes wrong, we'll see that too. But I am going to flip over to the desk view and let's stick the light on. Do we need the light? Yeah, I think that helps. So the dies that we're using are these ones here. So these are the Forever Florals dies. They are part of the Forever Florals bundle. I love this font, I really do, in this stamp set. It's one of my favourites. And these dies, you might recognise these, this shape as well. So when I sent out the spring summer catalogues at the start of the year, I included cards using this stamp and these dies. Now initially when it first came out, the stamps and the dies were only available if you bought the virtual card retreat, but it is now a bundle that's available in its own right, and it is gorgeous and I love it. So while I have used the stamps and these shapes quite a lot, I haven't used this larger piece, this floral. Hey Linda, glad you're here. And so I'm going to use it tonight. Now I had tried to make a card in advance, which is why you see me popping out these bits just now. There is a brush that you can get, and which I do have somewhere. And if anybody knows where the brush might be hiding in my craft room, I would love to know your theories. Because I couldn't find it, I am popping things out individually. But it does mean that we'll have a do it in person, and then here's one I prepared earlier. When you're using an intricate die, it is really important that you have popped out all of the little pieces. Hey Ali, glad you're here. If you've used it before, then you'll know little bits get stuck in these holes. You really need to make sure that you've popped out all of them before you run it through again, or else that is not going to end well. Okay. But what I am doing for the first card, so I have got, see, I did come prepared. I've done a card blank using my thick basic white, which is just A4, scored at 10.5 and then cut at 14.8. And then I have used a layer of basic white, which is cut to 10 centimeters by 14.3. So it fits perfectly on my card blank with a little gap showing. Because these dies are quite intricate dies, I'm going to use my adhesive sheets. As I've said to you before, the trickiest thing about using adhesive sheets is remembering to stick them down before you do your die cut. This sheet I am trimming in my trimmer to, what did I trim that to? 10 centimeters? 9, yeah, so that's 10.5, this is 10, and then the sheet is at 9.5 by 14.3. Just using your trimmer, as you would normally do. But for an intricate die like this, you are really going to want to use your adhesive sheets. So let's pull these off. So that's the backing. The way that I'm kind of going to do this, I'm going to position that where I want it to be, stick it down without having pulled all the pieces off, because in the same way as I showed you last week, it's easier to position something if you haven't pulled all of the backings off. So let's take off number 2, and then let's take off number 3. Give me a shout out in the comments if you've already got this die or the bundle, or let me know if it's something you're considering. Okay, so this particular die has got the floral outline, and it's got this floral piece. The floral piece does fit in the center, and that's what I wanted to go for. I wanted to have a piece that was completely filled, but when I ran it through, because as I say, I did one already, it doesn't cut as easily if you put both the dies through at the same time. So my high recommendation would be to just do the frame first, and then do the centerpiece second, because it will cut much better. So let me just run that through my trusty cut and emboss, which I've just realised is off camera. You're just going to have to imagine what that looked like. Before I peel it off, I'm just going to check over the other side. It's looking pretty good. So I'm going to peel off this die. And then that centerpiece, now the whole piece can pop out, and you can cut it on its own, or you can leave it on. I'm going to leave it on, living dangerously here. And I'm going to line up this smaller die in the center and put that through. Crank, crank, crank it round. What I've done is I've passed it through the machine twice. So I've rolled it in one direction and then back again in the other direction. Because it's a very intricate die and I've got the extra layer there with the adhesive sheets, I want to make absolutely sure that my piece cuts out. So let's now pop out this center piece and pop this die off the top. This piece I'm going to discard. I'm just going to put it to one side for just now. You never know if you're going to need it for something else later. But let's pop out this shape. I'm not going to poke out all of those tiny little bits again just now. I'm going to do that later. But I'm just releasing the die from the paper. Also, I'm going to poke out these little pieces in the center. Right. There's lots of tiny, tiny little dots. And there's lots of pieces and tiny dots in this one as well. Let's get my card blank. No, not using my card blank. Using another piece which is the same size. Okay, so my piece of basic white, which is 10 centimeters by 14.3 centimeters. And I'm going to stick this to this. Let's see if peeling off the adhesive sheets takes out a lot of those little bits. It's taking out some of them, but not all of them. It's taking out the tiny little dots, so that's useful. And you can see actually there, some of those pieces have stuck onto the backing paper. So that's useful. But now I still need to poke out these pieces. There will be some of you looking at this going, it's pretty, but is it worth the faff? Because this is a little bit of a faff, not gonna lie. I'll let you be the judge of it when we get to the end. Because, you know, we like a challenge, don't we, ladies and gents? Hi to everybody watching on Facebook, hi to everyone watching on YouTube, and hi to everyone watching on Catch Up. Yeah, we like a little bit of a challenge. You know, I often hear people say that the kits are too easy, and some of the kits are very, they are very easy. They're designed for beginners and casual crafters, people who just want a really easy experience. And there's nothing wrong with having an easy experience. This sort of die, this is more for your, what they would call your avid crafter. Someone who's a bit more experienced. Likes a bit of a challenge. I don't know. Certainly somebody with a little bit of experience behind them. So let's line this up. Now I'm going to do it the other way around, because this piece of card is exactly the same size as the piece of card that I ran the die through. Don't need to worry about centering it. Just put it on. There we go. Fine for special card, but not if you're doing lots of them. Linda, you are absolutely right. Spot on. Right, there we go. Can you see the white on white? I was going for this white on white effect. Don't worry, the other one we're going to do is going to have more colour to it. Although I do have an idea about adding colour to this one as well. Here's my dilemma, because I've got lots of ideas now. I looked at this because I was going to do white on white and just have a white on white one, and then I was going to have a white on colour one, but now I kind of want to do a colour on colour one as well. Right, let's stick this into the centre. There we go. So now I've got my totally white on white background. And I mean, to be fair, the white on white background is pretty. I am going to turn the light off. I don't think you're seeing it as nice as it could be. There we go. Is that easier with the light off? I think it is. A lovely wedding card. It would. It absolutely would. It's nice portrait. I think it would also be really lovely landscape. So, like, we'll put that one to the side just for a second, and I'm going to show you what it's like with the colour. So this was my plan, and I'm going to use the new ink colours because I love them. And because they're on offer at the moment, if you haven't heard, we have an incredible offer for those wanting to join Stampin' Up and be part of the Stampin' Up community. If you get the starter kit during the month of May, you spend £99, you get 130 quid's worth of stuff of your choice, and you get all 5 of the new ink pads completely free. It is an exceptionally good offer because, I'm not going to lie, these ink pads are a little bit on the pricey side. Let's pick up, see, I am going to use my red one. I want to make sure that it's not too red. Yeah, so let's pick up my Barely Blush, and I'm going to rub it along the top. It's so Barely Blush, you're hardly going to see it. You're just going to have to trust me that this is picking up some of the pink ink. See again, I've done it in a different order than the one that I was originally going to do it in, but it'll be fine. Okay, pink first. Then I'm going to use my Crisp Cantaloupe. Let's use, like, I'm just checking that I don't have orange still on. I'm trying to go for almost like a rainbow effect here with these shades. There we go. Right, Golden Glow. center. Doesn't need much, just doing a hint of it. By the way, do you see how easy these ink pads open? They are fabulous. Had a class a couple of weeks ago and the ladies who were making the project couldn't believe just how easy these ink pads are to open. Right, I think I do want the bluey shades. Let's use this blue. There we go. There we go. The blending brushes are amazing, Linda. We have them in the standard size, but they also come in mini as well, which is really good if you're doing detailed work and you want to be really precision about where you're blending. They come in packs of 3, and what I tend to do, so I've got my boxes of blending brushes here, as long as I've got a bluey one, a reddy one, a pinky one, a yellowy one, you don't have to clean them off every single time after every colour. You can run them under the tap and the ink will come off and they'll be pretty good again. But, right, look at this. This is actually, I think this is looking really good. Did I not pull off that bottom piece of... What's going on here? This is the one that I did earlier. Oh no! Right, the one I did earlier, I only stuck the top bit of the adhesive sheet down and I didn't stick the rest of it. So now what I need to do really carefully, oh, this is going to be a faff. Okay, how do I do this? Let's do it from the edge. Do you see this? Do you see what I've done? I forgot to peel the backing off. So now I've got the adhesive bit. Yeah, okay, don't do what I've just done. This is an absolute faff. Let's see if I can still recover it though. I need to do the middle bit or else we'll all go horribly wrong. Can't just do top and bottom. And there was me thinking I was being so organised. Here's one that I prepared earlier, Blue Peter style. And I forgot to prepare properly. Right, let's try and put this back down and get the adhesive in place. Then let's pull off the backing and see, yeah, there we go, glue this time. Oh dear. This is not the way to do the adhesive sheets. If you're going to use the adhesive sheets, put them on fully before you cut the die. Ask me how I know. I suppose if I make the mistakes, then you know not to. A lot of that glue has just come straight back off again. I think it'll work though. For the purposes of this card, I think it's going to work. Right, let's line this up. Do it on the top this time, rather than upside down the way I did last time. Means my centerpiece is going to be wrong as well, I think. Yeah, there's no adhesive on that at all. Right. Well, does it need the centerpiece? What do you think? put the centerpiece on and do the whole background, and then I'm going to do a sentiment over the top, or leave that piece off? Right. Let me know in the comments which you think I should do. Should I put the center strip on or not? A little bit of extra glue there. Let's just take that off the rubber. And then let's look at sentiments. So this particular one, I want to use these stamps because I just love the font that goes with this bundle. I think it's really cute. I'm going to do this one here. You're on my mind. I have a good friend who unexpectedly ended up in hospital today, and I know her family are very worried about her, so there's a lot of us thinking and praying for her today, and I think a little card to send. A card always cheers people up, doesn't it? Or lets them know that you're thinking of them, which is what I'd want to do here. I thought I had more pieces laid out, but maybe I don't. You know what, let's just stamp this on, and I'm going to do it in Hydrangea Hue, which is, as I say, it's one of my absolute go-to favourite shades at the moment. Leave the centerpiece off, maybe just with a sentiment. Yeah. Let's stamp this. Ah, goodness, that was close. Let's just trim this down. Just use the longer one of these rectangles. Pop it through. You're on my mind. So yeah, maybe just the sentiment. If I have, let's get my card blank back. So if we put this on the back, oh, and we have our sentiment there, what I was going to do is, let's use some of the coordinating ribbon. See, the blue or the green. I think the blue to match the dye, to match the ink, but then let's get some of the, for any sake. You can't see me, but I'm dropping this ribbon all over the place as I'm trying to put it back on the shelf. Let's get some of the embellishments to go with this. So if we wrap the ribbon round the background before we stick it down, I think that will work. And then while I'm doing this, have a look at the embellishments. Do you think it should be the butterflies or the dots? Let me know which you think is going to work the best. I think you could do either, because the flowers, maybe the butterflies would look cute. You know, butterflies fluttering around the flowers, but equally the dots are very nice. Just wrap that around the centre of the card. Press that down, turn it over, do it from the reverse. And then we'll use some foam pads. The butterflies go nicely with the flowers. I have to say, Linda, I do agree with you. I think the butterflies would be really pretty here. So let's get that centered. This is such a lovely shape, this one here. Let's have a look. The butterflies are really cute because you've got in all the 5 in colours plus white, which I think is really good. So you can use your blends to colour in the white ones and make them any colour you want if you wanted to. Just got one of these white ones that's trying to fly away from me. Nope, you get to go back onto the page there for just now. So I think let's start with a pink one at the top. Was that a pink one? No, that was my crisp cantaloupe. Alright, it's there now. Let's do a blushing bride pink one over here. Let's have golden glow one here, and then a cream one there, and then finish with my hydrangea hue at the bottom, and then I think crisp cantaloupe just there as well. What do we think? A few butterflies dotted around the edges, and then one on the sentiment as well. I think that card came together really easily. So I love it with the white on the colour. The white on the white, I think again is really elegant. But I'm wondering about adding some colour to it. So what I'm going to do is, this could either make or break it, guys. So you're just going to have to trust me here. I'm going to use, these are the Nested Essentials dies. I saw a card that was similar to what I'm going for. Don't know if these are going to be big enough. If I do that first and then that inside. Yeah. My alternative is that I use the perennial postage dies. Again, not sure if they're going to be big enough either. I want something large, that's the thing. See, they're too large. Right, no, let's go with the nested dies. And I'm going to cut in to my white on white. I'm going to start off with the largest one. And put that into my cut and emboss. Okay. Hey Julie, glad you're here. We're playing around with the florals, Forever Florals dies tonight. Right, so to be honest, that shape cut out with the white on white, that on a card blank with some ribbon, even on a coloured card blank, that is really pretty in its own right. Getting lots of ideas here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it out slightly smaller. Honestly, I might just have some more fun playing with these dies after I finish these 2 cards. I know I don't like to keep you too late. You have lives after all, but right. If I want another one of the larger ones cut out in white. Do I want it in white? Let's start with it in white, and then we might change it to be in a colour once you can see where I'm going. That piece is too small. Right, let's cut one of these out. Right, so now I've got the white pattern shape on the white solid that fits into the hole that I cut earlier. So again, I'm going to bring that up so that you can see it. So you've got patterned, plain and patterned. But now what I'm going to do is use, I'm going to do the colours, no, I am going to do the colours the same way as I did last time because I like them. Start with my Blushing Bride. Not Blushing Bride. Must stop calling it that. Barely Blush. We had a shade called Blushing Bride that was so similar. So I'm going to start there with my Barely Blush on the top. Moving into my Crisp Cantaloupe in the centre. Just kind of moving down the way. Just a hint of colour. Doesn't need to be in your face. But because you've got the detailed dies, they kind of pick up round the edges, I find. Really pretty. Let's do the Golden Glow. Loving these colours, by the way. They just work beautifully together, but they also work well. Yellow and right. If anybody is tempted by the joining offer, getting your hands on these ink pads, do reach out, get in touch. Happy to send you all the information that you need. I know some of you have done the starter kit deals in the past. You know that there's never any problem with you dropping and joining. You need to do whatever's right for you though. Although I am going to say, if you do it just now, one of the things that has just dropped for demonstrators is the early access to the July online exclusives, which are amazing. The July online exclusives are going to have the Halloween and Christmas things in them, and some of my fellow demos and I have already been looking at that, planning a Christmas in July class. So watch this space for dates coming soon. But if you sign up this month with the join offer, you can get the stuff in the July pre-order, which is a perk for demonstrators, and then you could do the demo price for the Christmas in July class rather than the customer class, the customer price. So just something to think about. You need to do what's right for you, but there's some really, really fabulous things. My order is already on its way, and I am very excited to get my hands on some of these new goodies. And that's even before we've got the next catalogue as well, which will be the September to December catalogue, which will be, you know, the seasonal one, the Christmas one with all the Christmas and Halloween and Thanksgiving type stuff in it. But exciting times ahead. Right, this I think I'm going to raise it up on foam pads to put into this shape. It does need a sentiment, but I have an idea of how I'm going to do that one. Lots of foam pads here. You're right, Linda, it is really effective, but it's simple to do as well. You know, once you know how, it all just comes together really easily. Let's pop that on. So I've got this shape. Again, it would be beautiful landscape as well as portrait. Am I gonna use the same sentiment? I am, but I'm not gonna die cut it the same way as I did the last one. Here's my card. Right, let's use my hydrangea hue. I hadn't cleaned it from last time, so nice and easy just to use again. So for this one, I saw another card where someone had just stamped and then cut out the individual words. I think I'm going to just group together some of them for just now, although I might separate them. Let me know what you think. So there's the My Mind bit. And then let's just... You can tell I'm not being really precise with the fussy cutting. This is just very rough. I'm going to go all the way down into the Y though. I love this font, honestly I do. See, if my handwriting was like this, I'd be handwriting everything. The designers who make these stamps, they are incredibly talented. Thankfully, I don't need to have beautiful handwriting because I can just stamp it. You're on my mind, like that, or up at the top, you're on my mind. Neat at cutting it out. I didn't feel like I was being particularly neat, Linda, but thank you. Or you're on my mind. What do you think? At the bottom, both of them together, or one at the top, one at the bottom? Both of them at the top, have them in the middle. While you let me know your thoughts on positioning, I'm going to stick some foam pads on the back of these. I think keeping them grouped together, so in the two pieces, the two sections, is probably the way to go. I'm using a mixture of the large foam pads and the small ones, because why not? Ali thinks it goes at the bottom. Yeah. And I don't think it needs ribbon, but I think we will put some of the butterflies on as well. Another vote for at the bottom. Let's do it. I do like crafting by committee. There's a lot of very talented people out there, and I'm always happy to learn and be guided by others. There we go. You're on my mind. Now let's get some butterflies on. So there we go. So again, the butterflies, the barely blush at the top, working the way down with the different colours. And so those are our 2 cards for tonight. So again, just a reminder, the dies, so these dies here, that kind of shape is the Nested Essentials dies. The stamps and the floral frame is from the Forever Florals bundle. Obviously you could buy just the dies on their own or just the stamp on their own, but if you buy them together you get the 10% discount. Or you could add them to your starter kit order and get them even cheaper. So, but yeah, let me know which is your favourite. Do you like the coloured background with the white on top? Or do you like the white on white background and then the patterned piece that we've just popped out and then added the colour to using the blending brushes? But both of those cards I think are quite effective, and hopefully the recipients it will make them smile. So right, that's all from me for this evening. So thank you for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed the cards that I've made. If you've got any questions, as always, get in touch, and I'll see you next week. All right, take care. Bye.